Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Wallbreaker from Clash of Clans. So we'll start with the eyes at the top. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a frown. So start about here at the top quarter of the page and draw a curve that comes up and then down. I'll do the exact same thing on the other side, just like that. And the reason why I'm going back and forth is just to get an even balance of height. And then underneath each of these curves, I'm going to draw sort of like an half oval on both sides, equal size and shape. Alright? And then on the right side of each eye, I'm just going to draw a little bit of depth. So here, I'm just going to mirror the line that I have on the inside here. Okay, just like that, just to give a little bit of depth. It's going between the eyes and down towards the nose. So here, I'm just going to do sort of like an upside down heart. It comes up, comes back around, just like that. And then in the inside, I'm going to do what I did with the eyes and just draw a little bit of depth, just for a little bit of perspective. Okay, so let's go to the top of the head here, and this is where the cap is, okay? So on this side of the eye, I'm just going to start here, curve around, okay, and just come around to the other side of this eye here. And from here, I'm just going to draw the outer part of the skull. So kind of come around the eye, like so. We'll come out, and I'm going to do a reverse curve where it comes down like this. And from here, I'm just going to do an overlap for the teeth. And I'll come on this side here, and I'm going to draw the straps that come down the side of his head. So I'll come straight down, and I'll kind of flare it outwards. And then I'll come on the inside from here and try to do the other cheekbone. So, like I did on this side, I'm going to do a reverse curve like that. I'll come straight down about the same height as here, okay, for the teeth. So along this edge, I'm just going to draw a series of sort of like loops for the teeth. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then from each of these points, I'm just going to draw a straight line up, just to indicate the teeth. Okay, now let's get down to the bottom jaw. So from here, I'm just going to go in a little bit and draw a curve that comes around, and then opposite curve to come towards the teeth. Okay, then I'll come straight up like so. Okay, and then from the bottom row, I'm going to do what I did on the top row, but just flipped over. So I'll draw a series of curves going across, just like that. And I'll come straight down the front. Okay, and then I'm going to curve around towards the back of the jaw. And then I'll come straight up and tuck that in behind that strap. Okay? And then from here, I'm just going to take these points and just drag them down. Okay? And then, like I have here on this jaw, I'm just going to put it on the inside as well, just to show that there's some depth. So 2 curves. And then inside here, I'm just going to color that in black. And we can go back in and color in the insides of the eyes as well. So let's do that right now. So the insides of the nose. Right, and we're going to leave this area white. We'll go in here, and we'll color the insides of the eyes as well. Alright. Okay, and now from here, I'm going to draw the opposite side of the strap on this side here. So I'll just come out a little bit, straight down, and I'll flare it in the opposite direction. I'll come in a little bit and make it a little bit wider, just like that. Okay, you see that I dragged it down a little bit longer. Now I'll make a diagonal line just to connect that. Okay, then from here, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do an angled line the opposite way. I'll follow that curve up and just kind of come up about this height. Okay, then from here, I just want to round out the top of the cap. So I want it to end up sort of on the outside of this line. So I'll come around that skull and then end up here, just like that. Okay? And from here, I'm just going to drag this line straight down and flare it out. Let's go to the middle of this cap and find the center point. I'm going to go straight up and then curve it out towards the left. Okay, now this is just a seam for the cap. Now let's go to the arms. So this is where the shoulder would be. We're going to have him hold this big bomb right here. So here, I'll draw the shoulder joint. So what it is, it looks like basically just almost like an oval with a point in it. So I'll come around just like this. Okay, so this is sort of like an oval shape, or two oval shapes sort of stuck together. Okay, I'm going to come down on one side, and I'll round this part out like that, and come back up. And this is what basically a bone looks like. So it's like a straight, and it's got two sort of humps on each end. And then here I'm going to do an overlap. So I'm just going to tuck this in behind, come around. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing here, just like that. And then from here I'm going to draw a thumb and two fingers. So let's go in and just draw sort of shape like that, and I'll draw a cut line in between. From here I'll draw one finger. It's basically the same sort of shape. And I'll draw a cut line. And I'm going to overlap it. So I'll do another finger in behind and draw a line just like that. Okay, now from here I'm going to have him holding this big round bomb. So from here I'm just going to sort of imagine it's going to come around this big. So let's start at the top and tuck in underneath the chin, come around here. Okay, now tuck that underneath the fingers and come around, try to make a nice round circle. On this side here, I'm just going to draw a couple fingers, so a couple shapes, just like that. Okay, just a couple overlaps. And from this side, I'm going to draw the tip of the bomb, so I'm going to draw two lines coming out, and I'll follow the same curve here, like that. Okay, and then I'll draw the wick, so just left to center, I'm just going to draw a curve, and I'll thicken that up with another line. I'll round up the tip, and inside here I'm just going to do sort of like a candy cane stripe. Okay, and then you can draw some fire in here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw some waves that come up like that, and I'll follow that back and kind of get wider as I get to the bottom. That's my flame. Right, let's go back up towards the neck. So the neck has a series of little overlapping bones for a spine. So I'll start up here, and I'll round out just like that, sort of like a half oval. And then I'm going to come down his spine. I'm going to kind of come into a curve. So I'll imagine this line, and I'm just going to do a series of overlapping ovals, just following that spine all the way down. If I have to tuck it in behind that arm, I'll just do that. Okay, and then for the other arm, so the other shoulder, I'm just going to tuck in another bone that kind of comes out like this, and I can imagine that coming all the way across to this hand here. And then for the ribs, I'm just going to start in the back, and I'll curve out, and then imagine this coming around to a point like this. Okay, so it looks like a little hook. Okay, and I'll overlap. So then I got another point here, and another point here. So you can imagine these bones coming around like that. Okay. All right. I'll go on to the other side here, and I'm going to draw a couple more points coming around. Okay, and this just joining back in. So this will come back in behind that bone tip, just like so. Let's get into the hips. So the hip joint, I'm going to flare out a bone here. I'll come down the middle and then come back out. Okay, it's almost like a bike seat. Then I'll just come up a little bit and I'll draw a curved line like that. Okay, my spine's a little bit off, so I'm just gonna fake this and pretend that the spine comes into that pelvis. Okay, let's get into the legs. So what I did with the arms here, I'm just going to do the exact same thing for the legs. So let's draw a big bone for the thigh. I'll draw one for this side as well. Okay, and then for the shins, I'm just going to tuck in another bone, like so. Okay, and for the feet, I'm just going to draw in a bone like that. Okay, with a heel bone, just overlap behind it, and then a toe bone comes up behind that. Go to the other side here, and draw a foot bone like so, heel bone, and then a toe bone, and there we have it. I think that's it. So there is Wallbreaker from Clash of Clans. Oh, and before I forget, I'm going to draw and finish off the bottoms of this cap. So I'll draw a line here, and if I imagine another line coming down like this on the back side, and there we have it. There's Wallbreaker from Clash of Clans I hope you enjoyed this program. Please give it a like and we'll see you again soon.